What is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Happy, Tuesday evening, you know what I mean? Before we get into this thing, we got Ivan Lars over here on Instagram join us today, talk about some Green Bay Packers football. But big shout out to Quick Trip sponsoring the show. And right now, Quick Trip is, if you go to Quick Trip, every dollar you spend is used towards, you make points for Brewers tickets. All right, I can't talk right now, but go to Quick Trip, shop, use your Quick Rewards app. Every dollar you spend, you get points towards a Brewers ticket. Make sure you check in the Quick Rewards app and find out ways to win. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do on the Quick Rewards app. So be sure that you're using it. Let's bring in Mr. Ivan over here and let's talk about some Packer football. All right, that's the wrong button, Ivan. All right, here we go. Now we got it. Now let's figure out how to turn this music off. We'll be all set. What's up, Ivan? How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I had a couple 3 beers. You know what I mean? I like to have a couple brewskers while I'm doing these things, but we're having a good time. But
amen. Here's some hams, fella.
All right, hammering down the hams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My father-in-law used to drink that. I've drank a couple of those back in my day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're from the land of sky blue waters. So
yeah. So how have you been entertaining yourself this off season? How's your off season been going?
It's been going well. I'm just kind of excited for the season coming up. I think really this team has really turned a lot of big corners, and I think it's going to be laid at the feet of Jeff Hafley, right? We're going to see what this defense can do, because I think that's the other piece that really needs to finish it off. And with the talent we have on defense, and what's what we're going to pick up this year. I saw something on the NFL Network. They have us in Las Vegas, we're like ranked 10th to get to the Super Bowl, and they have the Bears ranked like 16th. People are smoking dope somewhere, and they got to check themselves. But yeah, that's interesting.
Dude, those lists that they make on NFL Network and CBS and everywhere, all the channels do the same thing. They always have one crazy one on there, so the engagement on social media goes crazy. So people get mad. Not even social media, but even the people who are watching live on NFL Network or wherever, ESPN. I feel like they always have like someone crazy, especially like a popular team, so that everyone will just lose their mind. Every time there's a top 10 quarterback list, there's going to be one quarterback that is not as high as he should be, and one that's low and he's higher than he should be. They're always all over the place because they want to get people riled up, and it works because it gets me. Yeah. It works definitely because I'll get riled up and I'll go off on Twitter a little bit. But
they got the Vikings figured out though. They're ranked like 24th or 25th. They're lucky if they're going to be there. But yeah,
that's the thing about the Minnesota Vikings, I'll say, because they were like number 1, the players poll, right? The Vikings were for players like to play there. They have a good time. They must be doing something in that locker room, in that building, that really gets the players going, because winning is not one of them. Like they're not winning. They're not winning now. They're not going to win. They don't have a quarterback. The Vikings, Justin Jefferson, I feel like is about to bust out of there. He doesn't want to be. He didn't show up for their voluntary workouts, which I want to talk about the voluntary workouts because I had some crazy comments about that. So let's just skip right into this. All right, Ivan.
Sure.
First of all, I want to give a shout to Nick Law, though, also sponsored me. You know what I mean? Injured? Get Nick a leg. Check out nicklaw.com. You can find all this stuff. Everyone sees the billboards everywhere. But big shout to Nick Law. Russell is the man. You know what I mean?
He is the man.
He is. Everyone knows Russell.
Yep.
But so let's talk about the voluntary workouts, because I posted about this the other day on Facebook about like Jair gets 700,000, this player gets Preston I think gets 500. I don't have a list in front of me, but players are getting paid, and then dude, the people. I mean, I'm not talking trash to anyone who was in my comment section. I'm not but I'm saying people love to argue. I feel about everything. Like I'm telling you, if there was a post on Facebook about umbrellas, people could argue in the comments for 2 days about why umbrellas are bad and why they're bad for the environment, or why whatever type of crazy thing that they have. But when people are arguing about it, because well, it's not voluntary because they're getting paid. Like it's voluntary because they're not punished. They don't have to be there. But in their contract, they worked it out. Hey, we'd like you to be at the camp, in April. It's really not even a camp. I think they're throwing the balls around. They're kind of talking about the schemes, and they're going through the motions, but like no one's like they're not getting crazy. But like people, I feel like just like to argue about everything. But like, yeah, it's voluntary because they're getting paid. A lot of them, the ones who worked in their contract, because like, hey, we want these guys here. We want our best players, our veterans, and the certain players. We want to make sure they're here. Give them a little bit of incentive because who wants to show up in April? Which I think is funny too, because like the Packers have like the videos set up, like, hey, they're back, and all the players walking on and they're like, yay, we're back, and they're all happy. Like if you had a camera set up at my job when I walk in the door, and you're like, hey, Matt's back. You at 3:45 in the morning, you're probably gonna get cussed out. But the players are happy to be here. I always think that like the April camp. I don't know if it's a camp. It's more of like a program or whatever they do. I don't even know. Hopefully, I can get a player on here pretty quick and let me know what do you guys do in April when you get your besides take pictures?
Off-season workout. But who wouldn't want to come back to the greatest NFL city in the world? I mean, it's here. It's Green Bay. It's the Mecca. There's nothing better.
I'm just excited that like they are back because like it feels like a little bit closer to actual football, because like especially like as a podcaster who I don't like, I'm not Andy Herman, I'm not like these guys like breaking down like the draft and like Packernet, all these guys who are smart and like do all those good things. So I'm just like, dude, I want to get the draft over with. I just like to talk trash, really. I just like to but I really do believe that Packers are going to be really good this season. Like I feel like we could talk about the Bears drama like later or whatever, but like I just think the Packers, like I really feel like, and people's like, well, you say it every year. I didn't say it last year. This offense, I feel like is gonna be so good. We got a new defensive coordinator. I actually haven't talked to you in a while. So what are your thoughts on the new defensive coordinator? What do you think this defense is gonna do this season?
Well, number one, I want to go back to last year. I did predict 11-6. Remember that?
Yeah, you did. Oh, yeah.
And people called me a drunk. They called me a drunk Richard Dreyfuss. So here's the deal, right?
You were, and it's funny because like people who don't know, we made an Instagram video last offseason, like before the season started, and you said they'd win 11 games. I forget what I said, somewhere similar. But I saw you arguing with people the whole season, and you were going back and like, hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, remember this?
Remember
but here's remember when you said this? But here's how Green Bay is going to go this year. I really believe the final pieces are in place, and you know you got to trust the hire of Jeff Hafley. Again, when the Packers do something like this, and it's somebody we don't know right away, and we're kind of like thrown off, like why this guy, right? Why are we doing this guy? And then you look back at his history and what his pedigree looks like, right? I feel very, very good about what we're going to do. I feel very good about the hire. And with everything said and done, Green Bay goes 13-4 in the regular season. I think there'll be a game they lose, they shouldn't lose. There'll be a game they win, they shouldn't win. But the rest of them are going to be solid games, right? Outside of a couple losses. I think they take the division, and I'm going to say it easily. Bear fan and Caleb Williams, you know, smoking dope talk. These people need to check themselves because they're starting all over. And you know, I actually got nervous about the Bears when they picked up Keenan Allen and they made a couple moves, right? And I'm like, with Justin Fields, right? This could be something, right? They're making me nervous. And then they trade him for a 6th-round draft pick. And I said, there's the Bears for me. There's a classic Bears move. Good job. Way to pick him in the 11th round, move up, take this guy, run him for 3 years, and then trade him for a 6th-round draft pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You are classic Bears. That team is a train wreck. And it always is going to be.
Yeah, because like you talk about, like I feel like the Bears are just like running in circles. Like the number one pick, get a quarterback, doesn't work out. Get number one pick again, get a quarterback. I feel like it's like, you know, just like a squirrel, just like on a, and then always talking trash. So that's the thing. People who say that I talk about the Bears too much. Like I get tagged every single day on Facebook, Instagram, like Twitter, like everywhere from Bears fans. So like because like I usually don't talk trash, even because it used to be the Vikings who I was always trashing like in the offseason, because Vikings fans were always so loud. They got kind of quiet. They're like they're crying. They're over there. They know they suck. They don't want to talk no more. But like Bears fans turn into Vikings fans because I always had a lot of respect for Bear fans. Like they're, you know, I always did the Bears still suck thing, like the videos and whatnot. But most Bears fans got it. Like they'd laugh, like this guy, you know, the rivalry and all that. Like they got it, but now like Bears fans turn into like a bunch of sensitive, like whatever, and they just they just talk and talk and talk, and then they tag me and stuff. So then I get kind of, I wouldn't say riled up, but like a little juices flowing, because in the offseason, it's like, what am I doing? Like even talking about, but then like when the Bears fans start talking trash, like, oh, I can talk some trash. Like, because the thing with the Bears, because I made a video earlier today where this Bears fan said, yeah, we might lose to you during the regular season, but we like to watch you lose in the playoffs. And it's like, so that's the difference between Packer fans and Bear fans, is that the Bears fans, their Super Bowl is watching the Packers in the playoffs and hoping that they lose. The Packers Super Bowl is the actual Super Bowl. Packer fans, like, we have realistic expectations to go to the playoffs and do well. Like even last year on the rebuild year, which I said wasn't a rebuild from the beginning. I mean, it was like a little mini rebuild, whatever. But even in our rebuild year, they still beat the number 2 seed on the road. The Packers finished strong. I'm jacked about this season. I think they're going to come out hot, and that's what they need to do. They need to come out swinging. They need to come out and punch people in the face. I'm excited to see like the schedule when it's released. I'm jacked, dude. And I think the NFC North, like you said, I think the Packers are going to win the NFC North. The Lions are no one's pushover. I think the Lions will be good. I don't think that the Lions will get as far as they did. I feel like that was their chance. They kind of blew that thing a little bit. The Packers are coming out full force. Like that was your little window to do something. Now the Packers are coming in swinging. I'm stoked. I'm excited about this season.
I didn't, I saw the podcast, but I forgot who the receiver was. From Detroit, but he said nobody wanted to face the Packers, right? They were afraid of them, right? And here's the facts: it's coming, right? And again, and not God bless Aaron Jones, but Josh Jacobs is going to be a formidable. He's going to be a running back like nobody's business for us. Our wideouts are incredible. Our 5th wideout, our 6th wideout could probably be a starter on the Bears, right? They could be a starter definitely on the Vikings besides Jefferson, right? But we have a gluttony of talent. Our tight ends are going to be incredible. When you get those 2 guys on the field all the time, what the hell our defense is going to do? They're going to sit there and go, oh my God, what are we going to do? How do we cover this? They go to 3 wideouts. I'm getting all talky here, but 3 wideouts and 2 tight ends and Josh Jacobs. Like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah. Bears are going to go, oh my God. And Bear fan will tell me right now. And a shout out to Bear fan, right? To your point, I have respect for Bear fan. At least they have some sort of history, unlike the Vikings, who have zero history. They've done nothing. Okay, but lose. And here's the deal, right? I agree. You know what? Bears still suck, and they always will. But at least Bear fan and Packer fan can agree. We hate Viking fan because Viking fan has nothing to stand on. Viking fan is just ludicrous with their comments. Especially like I go back to when they got Favre and they thought it was all going to happen.
Yeah,
classic Vikings, right? They get right there and then they just blow it. It was wonderful. So good for them. And anybody else who wants to shout out and go, you've had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and only 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, 2 more than you've had. Okay, so just be quiet, sit down, and shut up.
When people say that about like, oh, you've had this many quarterbacks, or even if it's just Rodgers, only 1 ring, the whole Grossman thing for Bears fan, the same amount of, like Rodgers has the same amount of rings as the Bears whole franchise. And like when people say it, it's always weird to me because like Rodgers is a Jet right now, and I still got love for him. And when he comes back, and he'll be saluted as a Packer forever. But like when they say it like it's an insult. It's like, first of all, he has the same amount of rings as your whole franchise, 100-year-old franchise. You've been around as long as the Packers. And anyways, let's get to some more comments over here. We got one right here. What's up, Mike? I appreciate the super chat over there on YouTube. Watching second round at Stadium View. Can't wait. I'm thinking about going to the Cheesehead TV. They have a draft, a draft stream this year. But also they have there's a bar downtown that they're going to be, Corey Benke's going to be at. I might swing by there. You should come hang out with me there, Ivan.
Where's it at? Which bar?
I think it's downtown somewhere. I didn't catch the bar, but I was like, that's a good idea. I think it'd be fun. I think there'd be a lot of Packer fans there, watch a draft with. They do their live stream. Maybe I can rush the stage and make an appearance. Get arrested.
Security.
But Stadium View is a great spot to watch watch that type of stuff too. But I was thinking about doing a stream too with Packernet. Um, we'll see what I do for the draft. But I think the draft's going to be interesting. I don't know much about college. Are you a college football watching kind of fella?
Some of it, yeah, depends.
What do you think the Packers do in the draft? Like, even if you don't know players, like if you don't know because I don't know. Like people do mock drafts like every single way. Like Packernet podcast, I'll give a shout out. They do great jobs they do like 17 mock drafts a day. They got all types of stuff going on. They have a lot of good people. But I don't know the guys, but like what do you think position wise? How do you think that the Packers go for this draft?
Well, historically they haven't picked offense and outside of Jordan Love, right? They haven't picked offense in the first round since Javon Walker, I think it was. So I would love to see them take an offensive lineman. I think the kid Mims, I think would be a great pick. And I don't know if they do that. My thought process is right now, I guarantee you they will probably package something together and either move up or move down. And if they move up, I think they should take an offensive lineman or a cornerback, depends on, where Goody's at. And quite honestly, in Goody we trust, right? I'm not going to jump on it, but I think we need an offensive lineman right away. I still think we need one with our loss of what's his name? Well, he's gone now anyway. So the dude from Michigan, right? He's gone now, but it's I think I would like to see offensive linemen. Really, we don't need weapons. Right? We don't, and we might see a running back in the 3rd or 4th round. You may see another wideout just to keep the competition clean. But offensive linemen, I think we need a linebacker to replace Devondre Campbell, right? And in the 4-3. But I think Quay Walker is going to turn into a superstar with Rashawn Gary. That's going to be crazy to watch that in a 4-3 now. But when you look at the front line with the 4 with Devontae Wyatt and Kenny Clark and what that's going to look like, it's going to be a little bit different. And I'm pretty jazzed for that. So Jeff Hafley, as long as he blitzes the crap out of everybody, I'm going to be all jacked for that because that's what I want to see. I want to see crushing bones. Good thing Kirk Cousins went to the NFC South because he would have been crushed up here. So.
Yeah, I'm all about that blitzing action. I'm engaged 8 on Madden all day long. You know what I mean? We're going to see how it goes. Let's go to another comment over here. What is up, Mike? $5 on a super chat on YouTube. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? That's a beer right there. Mike says Andy Herman is going to be at Badger State Brewery for 2nd round. I really want Blake Corum, running back from Michigan, to replace Aaron Jones behind Jacobs. I did see that Andy Herman is doing a thing. I think that'd be interesting too to head over there. Maybe that's what I'll do for the draft. Instead of doing a live stream, I'll just go hang out with some folks, the day one, Cheesehead TV with Corey. Head over to see Andy Herman in the 2nd round. So everyone who doesn't know, Badger State Brewery, go say what's up to Andy Herman. For a running back, you talk about Blake Corum. That's a name that I see a lot. And like I said, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know college like that where I can be.
Yeah, he's the guy from Michigan.
Smart. Yeah, a lot of he's the guy from, it says right there, from Michigan.
Okay. I better read that.
I'm not I'm just saying. No, but I think the running game is going to be interesting this year. AJ Dillon, I think he's going to be he's back. A lot of fans had a lot to say. I like AJ Dillon a lot. I think I'm a Wisconsin dude, and I like that how he represented Wisconsin. I feel like he's gonna have some fire in him this year. So when he sees the field, I feel like he's gonna be getting after it. Josh Jacobs, I'm excited. I'm really excited about Josh Jacobs. I feel like
Emmanuel Wilson too is. He had a hot preseason last year, and we didn't see him very much because of the layout it was, right? And we saw a lot more of Patrick Taylor, but I think Emmanuel Wilson has a lot to offer too. You remember that 80-yard run against the Bengals last year in the preseason? The guy's got some wheels.
I feel like if needed, like he can do it, like given the opportunities. We'll see how many opportunities he gets. He hasn't got a ton so far. We will see. This is the interesting comment right here. We need to draft Max Melton. That's kind of what everyone's talking about. He's the, what is he, a brother or cousin of a Packer player,
Melton.
Right? Yeah. So I hope that's who it is, because that's what I'm talking about. But I've been seeing a lot of that. I think that'd be crazy, like, to have family, like, especially like around that same age frame. Because like, even when, like when there is family on NFL teams, usually it's like a big age gap. But I think that'd be crazy. I don't think it's gonna happen because it just seems too like fairyland. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like heaven. But a lot of people are talking about it on Twitter. We shall see. We shall see. Elliot says draft Bo Melton's brother, Max Melton. There we go. A lot of people want it. You know what I mean? I think it'd be interesting. I'm not a scout, so like I have no idea like if he's good, but if he is, I'd be all about it. Rick said stay away from Braylon Allen. He fumbles way too much. I did have a comment here on Instagram I want to get to. Instagram doesn't put the comments all together, but here's a good question from Gary. He says, do you guys think we can beat the Eagles or the Niners in the postseason? And that is something I want to talk about, because I feel like the Packers are, because the Niners are that team, right? Come playoff time, where everyone, Niner fans, they're all over me, dude. Nonstop. Yeah. The thing about the Niners, I'll say this real quick before we get into this, about next season, is that Niner fans always talk like, oh, we're your kryptonite. The Packers can't get past the Niners. Yeah, well, the Niners can't get past anyone either. The Packers have won 2 Super Bowls since the Niners have won their last. The Niners won, it was the 94. Packers got one in the 96, 97 season, and then obviously 2010.
Steve Young.
Like, dude, it was so old. Like, dude, the quarterback that won your last Super Bowl is about to retire from broadcasting. All right. Yeah. So if your last quarterback winning, Super Bowl winning quarterback is about to retire from broadcast, like, I don't know when he's gonna retire, but he's getting up there. Shout out to Steve Young. I think he does a great job. But like, dude, I get it, because you talk trash. I would too. You know what I mean? But like, the fact of the matter is that after you beat the Packers in the playoffs, you lose. Sometimes they win one game last week, this last season, but then they end up losing it. I
can't say anything differently, right? But I will say this, right? The 49ers didn't beat the Packers. The Packers beat the Packers in that game. We beat ourselves, right? I'm going to call it out for what it is. But it's a learning lesson, right? And it's something that happened. We had the missed field goal, and I'm not going to drag that kid through the mud. I'm just saying we had a couple things, but the 49ers did not beat us. If you watch that game, Green Bay was in control for the majority of the game. And, we shot ourselves in the foot. And it's a young team. And again, it was the youngest team in the NFL that was playing that game, mind you, in San Francisco. Now, doing what they did to Dallas, right, gave me not only confidence and expectations. Mind you, I did predict a very, very, very good cleaning of the clock of Dallas last year, if you go back and look at my predictions. But here's the deal, right? I don't think San Francisco is going to be that relevant this year. I really don't. And the Eagles, again, I think the Eagles have a lot of internal problems. And what we saw happen to the Eagles at the end of the year, you got to really think about, there is something wrong there inside, internally, that team did not give the effort and try. There's something wrong in Philadelphia, and I think they need to fix that.
Yeah, and I think with the Eagles too, I think Jason Kelce is going to be huge. Missing, like, he's a center. I feel like people don't really give that position. I mean, I think people do give it credit and give it love, because obviously a center is an important position. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like they really do. Like a big time Hall of Fame, all time great center retiring, and it's a big thing that they have to bring someone in new. I don't know what they're doing at center, but it's definitely not going to be the same. Even like people have said, like I think it was, I forget who it was, some all-time great defensive player said that. He's like, who do you hate playing against? He said Jason Kelce. Like, dude, Jason Kelce's the absolute beast. I know people get sick of hearing about the Kelces, but he was really good. And I think that's going to hurt him a little bit. Like, I don't think the Eagles, I don't think anyone's a threat in the NFC. I know people hate me when I say that, but I feel like the Packers are a really good football team, and I'm not really worried about, not to say that they're just going to steamroll and they're going to go on and win every game and they're just going to go to the Super Bowl. You go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, it takes a little bit of luck. Like, even the Niners getting to the Super Bowl last year was luck. And because like the Packers kind of beat themselves, the Lions beat themselves. Like, they were in the game. Obviously, the Niners are a good football team. They're a very good football team. They're among the best in the league. That's why they're in the Super Bowl. But even how good you are, it takes a little bit of luck. Not even just luck, like even the Packers win in 2010. It wasn't just all luck, but like even like that Falcons game, Aaron Rodgers lit it up, had the game of his life, and lit it up. Like even that, I wouldn't say is luck, but it's like things went your way. Your quarterback was hot. Everyone got hot. That type of stuff has to happen, whether you call it luck or whether you call it hot, but sometimes the ball bounces your way. Sometimes like someone drops a pick six. Sometimes, ball, is dropped, but it bounces right back into his hand. Like those type of flaky stuff happen. And that's kind of what you need to go to the Super Bowl, like whatever it is. You need that. So
Savage dropped that one, right? He got the one in Dallas, and then he dropped the one in San Francisco right in his hands.
Yeah.
Right. And I praise him for the Dallas one, right? And I curse him for the one in San Francisco, but I wish him his best, man. That guy was a good guy. So yeah, Savage was good.
Yeah, for sure. And that pick six in Dallas was huge. My live stream, like when that happened, I was live and it just screamed the whole game. Like my voice was gone. I don't know why anyone tunes into that, but I was just screaming. Like that was such a fun game to watch. One of the more fun games in a while. For Packer fans to watch. Well, big shout out to everyone. We are at almost 700 people watching right now.
All right.
693 people are watching, and I feel like they're all here for Ivan. Check out Ivan's hoodie, Homer hoodie. You can get that at themattremage.com. Go check
There's
it out.
There's the MR. It's over on this side right there. There it is, MR, Matt Ramage.
Yep. So let's get to a comment. Elliot says Steve Young and Jim Kelly started in the USFL, and that I did not know.
That I did know,
I don't think I knew either of those players started in USFL. Do you remember that though? Back in the day, those are two great. But do you remember NFL Europe? I was talking about this the other day with someone. NFL Europe back in the day. I wish they still had that. I used to watch that. Now they have XFL or I think it's USFL. I don't know. I think didn't they combine or something? I don't know. But remember NFL Europe back in the day because like they would have patches because they were like teams would send this player out to that league, and I remember watching that league, and I don't know why I brought that up, but I always thought that was really cool. Maybe the XFL, USFL, I think that they're combined now. Maybe I think it would be interesting to see because obviously the NFL took the kickoff rule, right? Kind of like so like they're watching, they respect them. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be an interesting twist because we got a young man by the name of Keyshawn Nixon.
So what do you think about that kickoff rule?
I think it's going to be sweet. I think somebody like him, like Keyshawn, is going to take full advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because if you really look at it, right? Again, Green Bay is going to dominate people. Get ready, buckle in, and prepare because it's going to happen. Now, people say, oh, you're just talking crazy. It's the Hams talking, right? The Hams is talking. Well, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to be legit. I think Green Bay is going to be a dominant force. I think Jordan Love, if you really think about it, second or third season starting, I think he's going to pull it down. I think he's going to get the MVP. That'd be great, right? Just to do another one, just to show it to the Bears. And so that's how we do it here. Because they drafted like 400 quarterbacks since we've had Favre and Rodgers and now Jordan Love. Good for you. And Caleb Williams. Good luck with that guy too. Because it's going to be a head case for sure. I think it's going to be a big failure.
Well, I think first of all, like even Caleb Williams is walking in is going to be so much drama. Not just because of him, because I think that they're going to have issues, not just with him, but like with how they run their franchise and like how they don't know how to have quarterbacks. Even like Justin Fields even said a few things during the season, kind of like, "Oh, I'm just going to do my thing." Like too many people are speaking in my ear. So if they don't change that, then nothing's going to change. Plus, there's going to be so much media, first year, number one pick starting. Once they're 0-2, 0-3, 1-5, whatever. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be a beautiful collapse.
The disappointment will be real for them. And I don't know why it is. It's like, every year they come in and they, that was the greatest thing last year. All the Bear fans, I could not get them off of me. Right before the season started, and Rodgers is gone. You guys are screwed. Yeah, here we go, right? And then after that first game, I couldn't find a Bear fan. I was looking for them. They're hiding everywhere. I'm like, they're in hibernation already. Where did they go after we kicked their ass? They were gone. It was crazy.
That's the thing. everyone who's talking trash this year saying Jordan Love, 1 year wonder, that everything they're gonna have film on him now. He's gonna suck. We're saying the same thing last year, saying Rodgers is gone, Jordan Love is trash, tagging me in clips of Colin Cowherd and all these other bums who are just dragging Jordan Love because everyone said last offseason the ups and downs. So every down they were tagging me and everything, but every up I was posting clips, so I ain't gonna be mad at them. You know what I mean? But that's kind of how it was. There was a lot of ups and downs, but at the end of the season, you can see this often, not just Jordan Love, but these young receivers, young tight ends. Obviously, Musgrave was hurt for a chunk there, but like once they get all these guys, and Christian Watson was hurt, get all these guys healthy. You know, they had Aaron Jones out a lot last year. Obviously they're not going to stay 100% healthy. That's just not how it goes. But like in the offseason, you can just pretend. You know what I mean? Like everything's going to be all good. But this offense is going to be scary. New defensive coordinator, Kenny Clark. He's seen talked about it. I had my podcast earlier this offseason. I seen a quote. He's on that parade, the Packer tailgate.
The tour around the state.
Yeah, so he was in that, and there's a few quotes. He seems jacked up about this. There's a comment right here. Let's see if I can find this one. Will the Packers draft Wyatt from Texas to replace Clark? I thought that was an interesting question because Cheesehead TV had an article about this. I saw. Should the Packers sign Kenny Clark long term? And I'm all about Kenny Clark. I think Kenny Clark's a great player. I think he's a great dude. He's Packer people. He's absolutely. He's still young. He's like 25, 26 years old. They drafted him when he was like 15. It seems like. It seems like he's been playing forever. But I'm not about replacing Kenny Clark at all. We'll see what happens. But I think Kenny Clark is he's still young. He's still got.
I think he's definitely lifer material, right? And I know fans always want that. They always want it, right? And very few and far between make it for the whole career. Like you get a Donald Driver, right? That's his whole career as a Packer. You know, and you look at some of the greats we had, right? Like Brett Favre and Rodgers, and you wanted them to be a Packer for life, and it doesn't happen. Kenny Clark, I think, is still lifer material, and I think again, he had his best sack season last year, right? And you know, Kenny Clark is a machine, and
he's such a beast.
Yeah, I think we keep him, but again, I'm not Brian Gutekunst, and I'm going to trust his decision making, right? And sometimes you get too attached, right? And even when people talked about the Aaron Jones thing, right? I would not say a negative word about Aaron Jones, but it's business, right? And people need to understand that. And as hurtful as it was to see Aaron Jones go, because I love the guy. You know, I got his autographed helmet back there, right? It's just, you know, he you know, it had to happen. It's business. And the G is more important than any name, as always.
That's just kind of how it goes. Like, because I was getting a little bit I wouldn't say hate, but people excuse me, dying over here. But I was pumping up Josh Jacobs, saying, you know, Josh Jacobs, I'm excited about because I'm stoked about Josh Jacobs. People were like, well, you know, Aaron Jones is like, yeah, I love Aaron Jones. I wasn't happy I was shocked, and I was like, took me a minute to like recover from that. Aaron Jones is like beyond football, just a great human. Like, there's not many times that you see people like that. That's just a good human. They do good things, and it's not bad at all.
Come back.
I mean,
He'll come back.
Not like I know him personally or nothing, but like it just seems like he's just the best of the best and a really good football player. But like you said, like the same with Rodgers. When they retire, when they're all done, they're gonna come back. They're gonna, you know, Rodgers will have his name up there. We'll see what Aaron Jones is gonna be a guy I could see him going on like the Packer tours if he wants to. He's gonna be a Packer for life. Everyone loves Aaron Jones. It sucks he went to the Vikings. But what are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, right? And this may cause eyebrows, but the Vikings are where all Packers go to die, right? So that's where that's where they go. It's unfortunate.
It's like a storage container. They hold.
It's the same thing. Bobby Tunyon, you know.
Yeah,
I wish him the best.
Have a good time. Yeah, you know, Viking players seem to like it over there, so like he'll have a good time, but not gonna do a lot of winning. But you know what I mean? But what's up, CJ? CJ says some people were saying about Kenny Clark maybe going to the Cowboys. Yeah, I don't think, first of all, this year at all. I don't think Kenny Clark going, but I did hear that people are talking about possible trade. I don't see that happening at all. I think Kenny Clark is a big part of this defense. I think everyone's going to be excited about him. So let's get to it. Sports Fan 2024 on YouTube says, what should be the Packers win total line? I'm saying over under 11.5. Their roster is loaded with Love, Watson, Jacobs, Reed, Musgrave. The Packers this year will be a really good team and to win the North. I think that's a great line right there. That's a great comment. Appreciate it. 11.5. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm smashing the over. I'm taking the over, and I'm gonna pour it into like a mixed drink. Get this Charlie Barron's brandy, and that's how I'm smashing it. I say it's 13 wins minimum. I think it could be more. But like you said earlier, I feel like the Packers, like every year, you could lose a game you should win. Right? Maybe you're on a 4-game win streak, bad team coming in, and you could end up losing that. But I think that they might win some games. I can't wait to see the schedule because like that's the thing. This offseason is so long, and I don't want to move it along too much because I live in Wisconsin. So as you do, we don't want to rush, the summer out here. We just got into summer. I like to enjoy it a little bit. But
10 minutes of it, fella.
Yeah, I know, right? You blink and it's over. But I think this season, like Sports Fan 2024 says, this is a really good team. I feel like they're gonna dominate the North. They're gonna dominate.
Sports Fan 2024 is pretty damn smart. And 13 wins. I'm calling 13-4. Well, actually, if you take the run they'll be on, I will call 17-4. So that's when they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So,
I think regular season, I think 13 is probably the line right there. Some might go over, some might go under. I feel like I think I'm gonna I don't know. Right now I'm at 13. I think I might go 14. We'll see. Let's get to another comment over here. Car said management knows more than we do from medical staff Bo Jones. Oh yeah, for sure. I there might have been some, because he was hurt last year, might have been his age too. But they made the choice, and that's what it is. And that's why they get paid, man. The management gets paid because they're not like me. I'm biased, dude. So biased.
Yep.
And a lot of Packer fans are like, dude, if it was up to some Packer fans, Jordy Nelson would still be on the Packers.
Yeah.
And ain't no hate for Jordy, but like, he could be retiring for farming. They're like, bring him back. He can he can play wide receiver over here.
If it were up to me, Lynn Dickey would still be playing quarterback. Okay. So there you go.
Bart Starr still be coach.
Yep.
All right, let's check in on Mike over here. What's up, Mike? Another $5, bro. No, I gotta buy Ivan a beer. Is Schefter gonna stay at Matt's house for draft in 2025? Here's my hot take. Wicks is gonna be our number 1 receiver this year, overtaking Watson. Definitely no one's staying at my house. I have people like messaging me, can I stay at her house? Like, dude, no, my wife ain't letting no one stay here. She barely lets me stay here. You know what I mean? But as far as Wicks going to be our number 1 receiver. I think Wicks is going to be huge. We're going to see like when everyone's healthy. Because everyone talks about like that number 1 wide receiver and all that. You see a lot of it on Twitter the last week or whatever. I feel like the Packers kind of historically don't have number 1. Obviously, when they had Devonta, they did. There's certain times when they did, but even when they did have that great wide receiver, kind of everyone kind of moved around, position wise. Like some people would be outside, some people would slot. Some guys were better in certain spots, so they kind of were majority there. But I feel like this young team, they don't care about names on the back of the jersey. Whoever's open is going to get open, and it could be Wicks who gets gets hot, and hopefully Watson gets over this hamstring injury. Like, and I'm not people like we're like calling Watson weak because he got a hamstring injury. Like, I feel like that's just like fluky stuff that can happen. We'll see. Like, if they're all healthy and Watson can stay healthy, I think it'll be interesting to see because I do think Wicks has the capability. I think Romeo Doubs does too. I feel like Jaden Reed does too. To like, because this is like a lot of these guys, their second year. They were rookies, not all of them, but. I think it'll be interesting to see, especially with Jordan Love's second year starting, and it's how many years he got drafted in 2020, so 2025. So he's going to be taking a step up. Josh Jacobs, I think he'll help. I think this offense is going to be stupid. I really do. I know I've been just rambling over here, but
I would agree with you. It's going to be different based on scheme or based on play calling. But, if you go back and look at last year, the most dependable receiver we had was Dobbs. When Jordan Love needed a receiver, right? Now I'm not knocking Jaden Reed. That pass to him in the Detroit game on Thanksgiving was stupid, right? But if you look at the things that happened with Dobbs, like in Dallas, and Bo Melton had that huge catch in San Francisco as well. But Dobbs always seemed to show up at the most opportune times and the most needed times. I'm not going to say that Wicks couldn't outplay him because that would be a ridiculous statement. But when it comes down to dependability, it seemed like Dobbs was the one who wouldn't drop. Dobbs was the one who would catch anything thrown at him, right? And he is really a silent killer too. He's not very loud. He's very humble, and that kid can play. Holy buckets, can he play? But again, it's going to be all over the place. To your point, Matt. I mean, Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed. Take another one. It's Bo Melton. Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, 2 tight ends, right? Musgrave and Kraft. Now what are you going to do, right? People are just going to be. I mean, defensive coordinators are going to be drinking themselves stupid. They're going to be drinking like me on a Monday night. They're going to be out of control. It's going to be nuts. They're like, shit, I don't want to face these guys. So sorry for the curse, but you know what I'm saying. It's not going to be good.
Yeah, I think that someone's going to step up because, like, you talk about no number one wide receiver, like, it's going to be like, especially at first, but like, this is a year that all these guys in the back of the head are like, hey, I need to step up. I need to, I don't know, because like they, the number one. I mean, I don't think it really matters who's number one. It matters who gets open, who's going to score a touchdown, who's like. I don't think that they care like where you put them on a depth chart.
Yep.
Where's the stats? Like, am I getting thrown the ball? I think that's what they care about.
Yep.
We'll see. I think this season will be a big part of seeing who gets the ball. Not even just like who steps up, but like who gets thrown the ball, who gets in those positions. 800 people watching right now, Mr. Ivan. Let's go.
Let's get up to 1,000. Get 1,000. But here's the thing. Yeah, and think about Josh Jacobs too. That guy can catch the ball. So there you got another weapon, right? So it's crazy. It's and I got to hand it to LaFleur in this aspect, right? This offense, and I said it in a half and drunken stupor after the Packer, when we were at the Packer stockholders meeting, right? And we were in my garage, and I said, and they're going to go 11-6. And I said, this offense is going to be something like nobody's ever seen before. And holy buckets is it. And, I got to hand it to LaFleur too, because I think he does a phenomenal job with play calling. So, and a lot of times, people were all fired up about the Giants game and running too many jet sweeps and all that jazz. But here at the end of the day, he was trying to make something work, and God love him for it. But you know what? LaFleur is the guy. And, the one thing that's missing is the respect for that guy. I cannot imagine, if you think about a coach who's had the run he's had in his first 4 or 5 years now, he's coming into his 5th year, right? Yeah. The guy's just smoking. I mean, he's smoking out wins. And again, I don't know how many coaches the Bears have had since then. Let's see, 1, 2, 8, 10, somewhere around there, right? I don't know. They got that other guy now. I don't know who he is, the guy from the Colts. But the Packers are going to dominate people. They're just going to kick the ever-living crap to everybody.
Yeah, I like that. All right, let's get to another comment over here. Jason said Packers are a different team when Watson is playing. He can single-handedly take top off any defense when healthy. And that is so true. He is so fast. Yep. When Watson's on the field, it can get ridiculous. I'm excited to see him healthy. Hopefully he can stay healthy. If you have a full season of Watson healthy, and like even like a big chunk of this wide receiver group, if they stay healthy within, obviously no one's going to be 100% healthy all the time, but like if they can, just majority of them can be on the field every game, like this offense will be stupid. You know what I mean?
Catch against the Chiefs in the back of the end zone by Watson was incredible.
Yeah. I like this comment right here. This is from You Can't Stop What's Coming on YouTube. I like that name. He says, it's better without a number one because you got to cover everybody if you don't know where the ball is going. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's so true. And not only that is like the defense doesn't know what's coming, but the quarterback, because, Aaron Rodgers, which all love to him, but like he would get dialed into Devontae sometimes. Then 99% of the time it works, but sometimes it doesn't, like in big situations. You kind of like try to like dial it in there. Like if you don't have a true number one, you're just throwing the ball around, just like whoever's open. Like everyone can have a day. Like today it could be Watson, next week it could be Reed, next week it could be Wicks.
Yep.
Like for the dominant game, and just
And that's
sprinkle
how the
that ball
season
around.
went last year too, right? That's
Yeah,
how the season went last year. I mean,
and
Reed
that's
had that
I think that's
tremendous
good.
game in Minnesota. Yeah, remember everybody thought Minnesota was gonna beat us. That was funny. Freaking
All right,
Vikings.
let's get to a couple more of these, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up because I really have to pee. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh yeah. Well, I got to get a beer while we're doing this.
All right, so sport. Oh, I got double clicked on accident. Sports fan 2024 says, "Will Jordan Love get the contract he wants? Do you have a contract prediction for him? Are you looking for a Baker Mayfield type of deal, 100 million, or will be Hurts type of contract, 255 million?" I don't know how long they'll go and like how big it is, but I feel like he's, like what's the what's Daniel's got like 45 million a year. So I feel like he's gonna get more than that. I think he's people thinking like, well, he's only had 1 year, but like he's gonna get paid. Like he's an up and coming quarterback. They believe that he is that dude. He believes he is that dude. That's all that matters. If they both believe that, I don't think he's gonna get like the biggest contract in history. I think maybe at some point he does, but he ain't gonna get it right here. But he's gonna get paid really well. I think he's gonna be right around 50 million a year. Whether how they do that with like signing bonus and make it 300 or whatever, if it's gonna be how long the contract is, I don't know all that, but I feel like he's gonna be right around the 50 million mark. What do you think?
No, I think he's going to get paid too. And again, I'm not about how much money or predicting that, right? I think the Packers will do what they need to do to get him signed. I think he'll get his big money after his second Super Bowl win because that'll really drive him up through the market. But here's the deal, right? I wish the NFL would do my taxes because I could get out of a lot of money, man. I don't know how they figured all this money out, but they got it figured out. And so, amen to that. But to your point, he ain't going nowhere, and they're going to pay him. Whether he gets a 4-year deal, 5-year deal, I think it's going to be in that range, right? And he's going to get paid handsomely. The guy will be very, very rich.
When people talking about like they should give him this, they're not going to lowball. All right, so like you made this guy sit behind Rodgers for all these years, in which obviously because Rodgers is Rodgers, but so then he comes in like, all right, now you're the guy. All right, he gives him one good year. They had that little slump in the middle there, which people should have expected. Ups and downs, but overall, great year. He had a better season than any Chicago Bears quarterback of all time
ever.
They've been around for 100 years. All right. And then that's not to drag the Bears, but it is a little bit. But like, so he is that dude, right? He is that dude. So you don't lowball him. You don't overpay him and be stupid about it, but like give him what he's due. And it's his first really big deal, right? He got that his rookie deal, then they had that other thing, which I don't even really know what that was exactly, but it was like some kind of maneuver, kind of like a 5th-year option, but not quite. But so I feel like he's gonna get paid. I don't know, like how long the deal is going to be. Like we will see. Smarter people than us should be talking about this.
Here's the interesting thing, right? Everybody trashed on him. He had a bad middle of the season. He was number 2 in touchdown passes. People, number 2.
Yeah. Jordan Love is that dude. Jordan Love is that dude. Jordan Love. I will tell you, he's going to be like at some point he's going to be the best quarterback in the league. And I kind of like hesitant to say that because Patrick Mahomes is really good at football. And I feel I feel like he's going to be in the league for a little bit yet. But Jordan Love definitely, I think, is going to be that top 5 type of quarterback for a lot of years. He ain't right now. I wouldn't put him at top 5 right now because I think he's going to be. So if I made a list, I probably would put him there. But I still feel like he's got to do it that second year to to hammer down. I'm among the elite. But if I'm making a list right now, I'd put Jordan Love ahead of a bunch of people that probably people would say I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'd go Mahomes, Josh Allen. Who else?
I don't know. I don't know about Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen and Jordan Love are very. I like Josh Allen a lot. I feel like that they're very. Yeah, I feel like they're. Josh Allen. I don't think he's going to be as good this year because he lost Diggs. But I do like Josh Allen a lot. I think. Plus, I know a few Bills fans. Bills fans are good people.
Yeah, they're like us.
It
right?
sucks like how it happened for them. Like
Yep.
I thought they were gonna do it. I was like, oh, they're gonna win a Super Bowl. Like I thought they were gonna. Last year, I picked them. It didn't work out. Then Diggs got pissed.
But just think if the Bears would have drafted Mahomes, we would have never found out about the guy.
Yeah,
they would have trashed his career like they do with everybody else.
For real,
you would have never heard of Mahomes.
I like Patrick Mahomes a lot.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's incredible talent.
Yeah,
but the Bears would find a way.
Fun. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like if the Bears drafted Mahomes, a lot of people wouldn't have heard of him. We would.
No, they would have found a way to destroy his career. They're good at that.
You know what I mean? But everyone, be sure to check out Mr. Ivan Lars over on Instagram. You could follow him. He puts out a lot of beer content, Packers content. We will do a podcast when it gets closer to the season. We'll do our predictions and maybe try to get another Instagram video to, get everyone under everyone's skin. We can respond all season after every W.
Yeah. I don't want everybody calling me a drunk Richard Dreyfuss. So that's what
that is a very unique insult. You know what I mean? I always like when I get insulted about every day on the internet.
Yeah.
I always like it when someone like goes above and beyond. That's what someone says. What are you looking at? Like, I'm like, dude, come on, you can do better. And then people think like that's just a comeback. It's not, because I really want you to. If you're gonna insult me, like, get creative, put a little effort into it. It doesn't take like, you don't have to spend hours, but like you're dropping a deuce, maybe put a little thought into it. Put your phone away. You don't got to be on TikTok. How am I going to insult this cockeyed Packer fan? That's what I want you to do. Just give me 5 minutes of your time to
put some effort. I put some effort into it.
Well, yeah, it's like my old teachers back in the day. If you just put some effort into it, you can be a lot better. But we are going to wrap this thing up. We have 863 people watching right now. So a lot of times I would just keep it moving when there's that many people, and I really have to pee. But I really do appreciate everyone who's tuning in right now, who listens to the podcast, and really just supports me in general, watches my live stream, comments on my posts, likes my stuff. A big shout out to Quick Trip, sponsoring this show, and also Nicolay Law. NicolayLaw.com. Go, be sure to check them out. Ivan, cheers, bro.
Thank you, Matt. Cheers.
Thanks for taking the time to chat with us tonight, Ivan. Let's wrap this thing up. All right, go Pack, go, people.
Go Pack, go.
About to dominate the league, not the NFC North. They dominate the whole league, baby.
Ooh.